cowards. So this is not the way of Islam. But that's why that's important, because they're using racism and flipping it against the Muslims and teaching people that our deen, our way of life, is foreign to us naturally. And that's a dangerous thing.
And I'd like to speak on that. I mean, you know, the thing is major deception. You know, here it is, individuals that they study history. Now, when we speak about Malcolm, we speak about Malcolm, but we don't talk about Islam. Now, this man, that's all he did. His transformation from being a common street hood was the first stage with the nation, which they cleaned them up, and they cleaned them up in the stages to be to get to full Islam. And when he went to full Islam, he went to another level internationally. You see, but there was no time in that time where we recognized him, where people started noticing, you know, who he was, that he wasn't considered a Muslim. And then for himself, until when he went to full Islam, then he understood the difference between La ilaha illallah, that there's no God except Allah, that he's not a man, and that Muhammad is Rasulullah, that Muhammad is the last messenger, there's no prophet, there's no messenger, there's nothing after him. Once he understood that. But the thing is people want to praise Malcolm, right? But they want to fight against Islam. Then these false historians, and I call them false historians because they will study a fact. They will talk about Timbuktu. They will talk about West Africa. They will talk about Mali. They will talk about all these places. And if they did any homework, if they got a degree, they know that these were Muslim places. They know that the Muslims were the ones that came here. They know that the Muslims that were the ones that was continue to fight. We know in the prison system what happens. When the guys go to prison, they want to join us. They're not joining the nation. They're not joining the 5%ers. They joining the Muslims. Why? Because the way that we get down, we protect our own. So when slavery was happening, which prison right now is slavery, because it says involuntary servitude is legal except in cases of imprisonment where a person has been duly convicted of a crime. So they're slaves, especially since they're renting them out for $1 an hour. So we have it in this slave situation. We are a strong group. So when we had the other colonial slavery, we were still the ones that were willing to fight and protest. These so-called historians study that, but yet they're quiet. Why? Why? Why are you quiet when you know the truth? If you're really a historian and trying to give the truth, then you would give that fact. But what? They fear that people will come into Islam and know the truth. How is it that we can have it, that we had that much Islamic history, and then by the time we came around in the 1800s, you had none? Because the slave owners made sure that they used our own people to be able to remove that history so we would not go towards Islam, because they know that it gives us to have no fear. When you love Allah and you know that you take my physical life, if I'm working and trying to spread this religion, like Malcolm, he was working and trying to spread the religion, Allah says that do not speak of them as dead. Speak of them as alive, because they maintain. Why? Because this person is there. So you're not fearing human beings. But the other ones, you fear the way, you fear that, and that's how the Muslims, and they have this long-standing history of all of these things, but yet these so-called historians leave that out. And so, unfortunately, our tribe, our people, listen to these guys thinking that they're sincere, not knowing that they're straight liars, right? And then they mimic the stuff. But then when they come to me, I'm gonna sit down and I'm talking. Let's go over real history. You see, even like when I hear people say, I heard a person. I try not to mention names, but I heard somebody doing an interview, and he said, "Well, you know, the thing is, I don't like the Bible because you know, you don't see no black people in there." I'm like, black people? Yo, bro, I went to Egypt. When I went to Egypt, they don't let you walk in with cameras for a reason. Because when you walk down the hallways and you see the different dynasties, and you see during the time of Musa and all of them and everything, you see the colors of the people. They were black and brown. You see how it is? So it's clear. We don't have to, you know, think I got to look at it or anything like that. Or I can go to archaeological evidence and dig up the bodies, and you can see the shapes of the people and stuff. We know this. But here it is. He's saying that, you know, I didn't see any black people. I'm like, isn't this the people of North Africa? The northernest tip of Africa, because not the middle of the East. But yet we still mimic the same thing. So these so-called historians that's working for us, actually working for them. That's my understanding.